Oh yeah, no, I
What's
see
going
it.
on, guys? Yeah, welcome back to the Dave Goldstein podcast. We got Julian Steur. Julian is an amazing guy. He's originally from the Netherlands, and right now I think he's in Ibiza. Is that right, Julian?
Yes, man. What's up? How are you?
Yeah. And Julian is a purpose coach. I know purpose coaching, this industry is starting to grow. Some of the guys that I work with them on their personal branding are also really interested in purpose coaching. And Julian and I did an amazing Instagram live on his, Instagram a few weeks back, and I wanted to bring him on into our community since he's already a member. And we were going to go deep into what is purpose and how do you find your unique and authentic voice so that you can let your, personal brand shine through and carry that purpose wherever you want it to go. So
hmm
great to
That's
have you here.
Thank you, man. Thank you. How have you been since our last time that we connected?
Well, since the last time that we connected, a lot has happened. I think that a lot just does happen if you're putting yourself out there in life. And there's the good and the bad. And then there's reframing the bad to see the good in the bad.
Oh, I
Okay.
can definitely recognize that, man. Like the last couple of months, they have been, uh, yeah. As I grow more and express more, and I want to go to that next level in my own mission and purpose, and life really, you
Yeah.
tend to also get the other side, which is like the downs, as we call them. And then instead of resisting those downs, can you get the lessons out of it? Can you grow through it? Can
Mm-hmm.
you stay positive, and can you keep trusting that this is meant to be and meant for you, and that you have certain lessons to learn and that you can move through it? And it was hard at times, for sure, those low moments. But
Give me
in
an
the end,
example of something that happened to you.
well, one example, I actually got COVID, man, and
Okay.
it was for 2 weeks, and
Sorry
I
to hear
was
that.
completely out.
Mhm.
However, I secretly believed that it didn't only had to do with COVID. I think it was a lot more like stress and negativity in my own house, and just my own limiting beliefs and patterns started coming to the surface because I wasn't like on fire anymore. I was down, and I felt like, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I should be doing something. And I noticed really I was getting my self-worth a little bit attached to what I was doing a lot, instead of allowing myself to be, and to be with myself and with my thoughts and with my feelings, and moving through that and learning from that. So that was definitely one example where I was like being, tested, so to say. How much am I still able to trust, be with my feelings,
Mhm.
and then just still go on my be on my path afterwards, if that makes any sense.
It's funny how someone like you or I could preach about being on their path and breaking out of limiting beliefs, and yet having our own struggles with limiting beliefs or manifestation or negativity that comes up in life. But one of the greatest lessons is that no one is immune to the hardships and the struggles of life. It's
No.
just when they do happen to you, how do you react or
How do you
not react?
how do you perceive it? How do you interpret it? What's the
Mhm.
label you place on the events that are happening? Because we might not be uh, responsible for what happens, but we are responsible for how we interpret it, how we go about it. And I would even go as far as to say, yeah, we are actually somewhat responsible for also what happens, right? Because
Yeah,
in
most of those things that happen, you have manifested into your
we
life, whether
manifest
it's from a past life or whether it's from karma in this life. Okay, you are responsible. And
through.
so you
Yeah.
want to blame and you want to push, the push the responsibility to someone else. But, you were asking me about um, what have I been going through? How am I doing? And I'm thinking, all right, well, my community started to grow. I started to work with more people who I really wanted to work with, and I just love the collaboration. And then I saw other relationships once again start to falter. I started to see, my own body tell me, you know what, you're a little bit stressed out right now, okay? Or you're working too hard, or
Mm,
you're not really enjoying that relationship, or when you speak your authentic voice, there's always a pushback and there's always like some slap in the face. So why is that? Why is that? You know? And
mm.
I was just listening to this really interesting podcast um, episode of Tom Bilyeu, and I don't even know how to pronounce the name of the guest. It's like Radhanaswamy or something like that. And he's talking about how the ego is nothing more than oneself, one's sense of identity. And so we all want to dissolve this false ego or this misconception of the identity that we have about ourselves so that we can awaken our true self, so that we
Mm.
can let that true self, that true authentic voice shine throughout the world. But as you go on this path of, ego death, there is a lot of fucking suffering and pain that
Yeah,
you need to go through.
a lot of
So, yeah, it's a
a lot of
lot
things
of
to
really,
reflect on
really,
that too.
hard experiences, and I just want everyone that's listening to understand that that's part of the journey too.
Yeah.
That from point A to point B, it's not going to be linear. There's going to be
Mhm.
ups and downs, and you're going to go backwards sometimes. But as long as you have an eye, okay, on the direction and the path that you want to follow, or for better
And the person you
better
want to
terms,
become, the
the
person you
person you
want
want
to
to
become,
become.
you have
Yeah,
that vision here, like, oh, this is the identity, or the, yeah, I want to embody
yeah.
the ideal version of me, that yeah, that future me, which is really existing in the now already secretly.
Hmm.
But when you start to go towards that and become that, along the way there's a gap between where you are now and who you want to be, right? So between that gap, there's a whole lot of space for things and events and people and situations that will, yeah, test you, so to say, on like, okay, are you really going to become that person? And then one really good quote that then comes to my mind is, don't shoot the messenger, receive the message. So if people and events are triggering you and bringing up all the insecurities, patterns, self-doubts, beliefs, then you have the beautiful chance to then stay true to that version you want to become, and keep imagining it, keep standing powerfully in that version,
Hmm.
and just be aware of the space in between your trigger and where you are in your presence. And you can then choose how you respond, choose if you're going to allow that trigger, that doubt, that uncertainty to run you over, if that's even a thing.
So,
Um,
Julian, what is it exactly that you do? I know that you work a lot with people on their purpose. Um, when did you decide that this is something that you wanted to do, and how did that all come about?
well, it's an amazing question. I've been into this whole coaching, personal growth thing for since I was like 17, all right?
Mhm.
21 now. And I started out as a client of a pretty famous entrepreneur in America. Many of you will know him in this group, I think. He's called Julian Blanc.
Some of the
And
guys, were also a part of the Transformation Mastery program, so you'll know some of them, Nikolai and some other guys.
yes, and I do know them. Yeah,
Mhm.
amazing. So ever since I went through his programs, at the same time, I was also traveling a lot. And
Mhm.
I come from a very small town in the Netherlands, and I always wanted to explore the world, explore more of who I was, and meet more people. And frankly enough, I also just wanted to have the most crazy and insane experiences, because I always felt drawn to this like freedom, rebel, awesome lifestyle. And so yeah, I was really in that world of traveling and exploring, and at the same time personal growth and reading books and having coaches and mentors online. And while having those experiences, I started applying a lot what I learned in those books. I started applying it in my real life experiences, and I eventually started working for Julian as well, which was really amazing. I started traveling with him on tour.
Mhm.
And this is where I learned everything about coaching, and like, okay, how do you even coach people one-on-one or in big groups? And that just spoke to me so much. And I always had a sense for like having deep conversations with people, and people even frankly often tell me what they're dealing with and struggling with, and then I just happen to say something back, and they are always like, man, how do you know what's going on so well? And I'm like, yeah, I just have a passion for that. I have a passion for observing patterns and relating things and experiences back to my own life, and then just connecting on a deep level with people while being of value. And then yeah, I know it's a bit all over the place, but then I just decided that someday, like, I think this is possible for myself.
When was that breaking point of, you know, of feeling enough to pursue this on more of a career path and actually start valuing your time for money and bringing on students?
This is an amazing question, man. Super happy you asked, because to be honest, at first I had a tremendous like belief. I don't want to call it limiting, because it has served me back in the day. And I had this belief like, yeah, I'm way too inexperienced. I'm way too young. Uh, I should be doing this first. I should get ready more first. And what really did it for me was investing into mentorship, into a business
Mhm.
program. And that really forced me to be like, yes, this is it forced me to make a huge list of things I've experienced, of things I've personally overcome, of unique experiences I have, and also make a list of potential things that people are struggling with and that are
Yeah.
willing to pay for it, and that I am 100% confident in to help them with. And yeah, that really did it for me. And then just getting those first experiences, those first reference experiences, that just let it land from like, hey, I actually got this. No matter what tricks my mind says, I'm able to let go of that. I'm able to step forward. And I still am on this journey, because
Mhm.
uh, yeah, I might like, I have a way bigger vision for this. But yeah, sometimes it's still coming back like, oh, are you worthy of that? Are you worthy to help even way more people? Are you worthy to express uh, your full self even more and daily? And there's still plenty of days where I have those things going on, but that's the beauty of this, right? We're all on our,
Self-doubt.
yeah, we're all on our.
Self-doubt. Yep.
Do you experience that?
Well, what I wanted to first know is, what is your big vision?
My big vision
Yeah.
with regards to business, life.
Well, what you were just talking about. So you said that you've overcome this fear that you don't have enough experience. Then you started to garner the experience and you started to coach people. We actually had a friend in common who you were coaching, and that was how we met.
Yeah.
And you've gone from coaching predominantly women, I'm pretty sure, to now opening it up to also coaching men as well. So where do you want to take it? What's the big plan with your purpose coaching at the moment?
Eventually, I want to bring it that I don't want to make this for as many people as possible. First of all, like I don't want to become like a Tony Robbins kind of person. I really want to keep it authentic to me and really make it in a way where it's very empowering for others to find their own unique thing. And for me, that own unique thing would, for instance, be create masterminds in my house on an island like Ibiza, and just invite exactly the right people at exactly the right moment. I want to be able to have an online platform where all of my best content and collaborations with people from all over the world that I've connected with and traveled to, that they all come together in one hub that is just like, this master platform where it's like awesome, high level, top notch content, and not just content, but like highly empowering from the best people all over the world, and also my own content. And then just doing a live, not retreats, I would call it advancements weekends. And that's what I really see happening. And just change the game when it comes to being all serious about business. I want to have a tremendous amount of fun and connection at the same time. And I think that both is definitely possible.
I love that. And I've, I mentioned this on another podcast, I'm not sure which one, really recently, where there's an online entrepreneur who said that you can either turn this entrepreneurial journey into a marathon, or you can turn it into a bunch of short sprints. And if you turn it into short sprints, that allows you to work really hard, and then you get to play, and then you get to have fun. Or you can, do it the other way. I'm kind of on the marathon journey right now, where I chip away all the time. But I'm starting to think maybe I'm going to take the other route as well, because this entrepreneurial journey is a recipe for burnout. We hear the freedom business term thrown around a lot, and it's actually a freedom business trap, because if you get too sucked into it, you're not free at all. You're a slave to your business. You're a slave to, your clients, depending on what your agreement is with them. And if you're actually going to be devoted to that business, and you're actually going to be caring about those people, well, you're going to want to be there for them all the time. Okay. Whenever they need you. All right. And if you want to create an actual life of freedom, you have to define, what does freedom mean to you?
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
a lot of the time people will think that the freedom business means I'm going to make a lot of money. But just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean that you're, innately going to be free. If you haven't healed your traumas, if you haven't learned how to connect with people on a deep level, if you haven't actually found your, as you coach on, your purpose, that freedom business is not going to be as fulfilling as what you think it seems to be in the YouTube videos, okay, or the Facebook ads that you see. So with that being said, what is, in your words, what is purpose, and how do you find it?
Again, amazing question. Purpose is really not necessarily something you do, first of all. It's something that you are being and more feeling on the inside first. And that then expresses itself into doing, if that makes sense. So the first couple of questions you can definitely ask yourself and you can sit with is, what are your core values? What turns you on? What are the values that, like resonate deeply with you? And for me,
let's use you as an example. So what are your core values?
Freedom, trust, happiness, fun, and I have them noted down here somewhere. But the top 3 to 4 to 5, I tend to focus on those the most. And then from that place, once I have those 4 written out, and there are processes for this, which I do in my coaching, where you can really go deep and find out the core values, because I don't just come at that randomly. Oh yeah, freedom, love. It's like very intangible, right? So how do you make that tangible? Is by asking yourself, what are some activities related to these values where I literally lose track of time, where it feels where time just passes by, where my expression or my presence is just effortless. I don't have to do anything. An activity or a topic where I don't even care about the opinion of others. I don't even care about how the outcome is going to be. I just surrender myself fully to this activity. And it can be on the smallest of levels, right? And then the second thing with purpose is, yeah, sure, you can do these things that are effortless and fun for you. But what's going to create, the freedom for you more is also eventually getting paid for that purpose, right?
Valuing yourself and actually respecting your skills and capacities,
Yeah.
and not diminishing the value that you have or letting others take advantage of you. Okay, so if you've got these skills and these traits that could actually help someone else, and you're going to give your time and your effort and your energy and your voice and you're going to give a gift, your whole self, you're going to give a gift to someone else.
Your being is going into your being is you're doing.
You've got to be able to as well accept and receive in return. And that is, from my estimation, one of the biggest disconnects between a successful entrepreneur and someone who's just got a dream of being an entrepreneur. Okay. Most of the time, guys that are young and aspiring, that are just getting into starting their own business and helping other people, a lot of the time they have a lot of experience, or sometimes less so. They've read a lot, they have consumed a lot of content. They want to make some money, but in terms of actually understanding the value that they have to offer, it doesn't add up to what they're putting out. And you see others who put out value, but it's in a very different way. And what they're able to receive in return is incredible. It's vast. It sets the standard really high. And you think, oh, if that guy can do it, it's going to be so easy for me to make that kind of money, to live that kind of lifestyle, to have that kind of impact. And the problem is that deep down, you don't actually truly believe it. Deep down, you only kind of want it, but you don't actually understand how to have faith in that vision and step into it fully, completely, with devotion. That's what I've come to realize from my estimation.
This is amazingly phrased, man. I mean, not being able to recognize your value and what you have to offer will definitely block you from living your purpose more and more. And by the way, a big part of it is not only the receiving part, but also the giving part to the right people, right?
Because being able to say no to someone who, even though they're going to pay you, they're going to actually drain you of energy and time. And I'm experiencing this a lot over the last 12 months of people that have come in that are, I really want to work with them, but they don't want to value my time, or vice versa. I don't really want to work with them, but they do want to pay me. And how do you find the balance? How do you find the happy medium of someone who is going to value your time, and at the same time, you're going to have a beautiful flow with them, and you're going to feel good about the work from start until finish.
Yeah, man, this is what you call ideal clients, right? But
Yeah, the avatar, the ideal avatar.
ideal avatar. I don't even want to necessarily call them clients anymore. Like my ideal ones, I call them partners in expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, I like that. I like, I just going to cut you off real quick. I like actually ditching all the old sales and marketing and also dating terminology. And,
exactly.
I've got a guy that I'm coaching right now. He wanted to keep using the term cold approach. I'm like, drop that shit. Okay. Use a different way of talking about approaching a woman.
Yeah.
A lot of times in business, they'll use the word close. I'm like, bro, no one wants to be closed. How about
Close
you look at
handling.
Yeah. How about you look at actually enrolling someone into your program, like a student,
Yeah.
so that you can help them and not look at them just as another number. But this is kind of, new age progressive way of communicating the, business and dating terminology that not everyone's fully embraced.
No, and this is a big part of my own vision as well, is being able to do that, like really like that heart centeredness, right?
Mm-hmm.
While like your clients also become amazing people you can connect with and vibe with and have amazing times with. So you connect. My core values are freedom, trust, love, and fun, right?
Yeah.
So the freedom is also the business and the wealth part. Yeah. If you get paid a lot, that represents freedom for me.
What about peace of mind though?
Peace of mind is also has a lot to do with trust for me, because I
Because are
trust.
you actually free, as I was saying before, if you're not in a peace of mind, if you're not living your purpose, if you're not on, your legacy?
Yeah, no, freedom is not, doesn't only have to do with money, of course.
Okay.
And money, I don't mean money, I mean wealth. And wealth comes in many different forms. It doesn't just come in money. It also comes in connections,
Yeah.
inner wealth, mental wealth, like wealth as in, hey, how is your inner state doing? And from that place, once you're inwardly wealthy,
Mm-hmm.
you will attract that outer wealth easier too, in a way. But
Abundance mentality right there, where you
absolutely,
feel like the glass is half full. And so naturally people are going to want to come in and drink from that cup as well, rather than you feel like the glass is half empty,
yeah,
and
feel it out of me.
everyone is trying to steal your clients from you. And if you break up with that girl, there's going to be no other girl that's going to want to be with you. Okay. And if you leave your home, you're going to be venturing into a dangerous place where, people are going to try to take advantage of you and steal from you. I just came into this country, Romania, that has a lot of stereotypes. And, I've had a very positive experience here, but I know other people would come into a place like this and have a negative experience. Why? And it's all just the perception.
Yeah,
It's all
and this
just the way that I perceive it.
a really great exercise for this that I personally use when I feel those scarcity thoughts coming up. And I've even had moments of this a couple months ago. Not even like 1 month ago, I checked into my bank account, and oftentimes, if you guys have ever had this, probably yes, you check in and you're like, whoa, that's kind of on the low side, man. And your whole feelings start to be attached to that. And you are basing your inner state on what's happening outside of you a lot, right?
Yeah.
What I then do is like, okay, is wealth only financial? No. Let's take a breather and let's focus on what is abundant, and let's appreciate what is abundant in my reality right here, right now. And then I just sit there and I breathe and I focus on all the things that are already there. So it's Okay, I have a phone where the whole, literally all the information you would ever want is one finger click away. You have a laptop, you have sunshine that is nourishing your body with vitamin C, you have food in the fridge. And it sounds cheesy, but actually not just mentally do this, try to feel this. And as you come in that appreciation zone and zone of like, oh, there's so much around me. If you look at even on the street and the buildings, everything has been made by materials and wealth, and there was money involved. All the people that are walking on the street, they are carrying money with them. There's opportunities. The people are experiencing problems every single day. Millions and millions of transactions are made every single day. Are you feeling it already? Are you feeling?
You know,
You see a wall?
I'm loving it because it's just an amazing exercise in gratitude. And a lot of the time, you know, there are these very foundational concepts in life and dating and business, and people will just be like, check, got it, on to the next one. Give me the advanced stuff.
Yeah.
And if you don't actually continue to go back to your foundations, then your business or your building or your body is going to start to crumble. If you don't work out and eat healthy, your body's going to start to deteriorate. You know, if you don't
Yeah.
continue to do outreach and put out content that engages with people and, you know, provide value at a high level, your business is going to start to diminish.
Then
If
it's
you
like
don't,
water, right? And
yeah,
still water, what happens to still water if it doesn't flow and receives and gives all the time and goes through a pipe? It stays still and it rots. It starts to rot and it starts to deteriorate.
Mhm.
So yeah, but it's also the same with expressing your authenticity and truth out there.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to get into right now, which is, you know, how do you talk about it, but also embody it in real life? And how do you
Yeah.
actually see what is unique about you that's different from everyone else?
Hmm.
Now, with that being said, you have to understand that each and every one of us is unique. We have a different genetic code and makeup, okay? But in the society, we start to judge ourselves based off of other people, and then we fall into these, you know, limiting beliefs and these traps where we feel like we're not worthy, we're not enough, we need to fall in line, we need to get the, you know, the job or do it the way that other people tell us to do. But deep in your heart knows that that's not actually what you want. What you actually want to do is you want to become a professional video game player, okay? Or you want to become a pilot, or you want to travel the world, you know, and work for National Geographic, or maybe you want to make video games that actually improve people's lives. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got a student like that, you know, or maybe you want to become a coach and you want to talk to someone and understand what they're going through. But the problem is that you're comparing yourself to others, so you feel like, oh, but I can't do that.
I
I'm
should
not that.
do
Yeah,
this.
I'm not that unique. I'm not that authentic. Okay. Now, the first step in actually delving deeper into that unique and authentic voice is starting to list out, well, what do I do that people like? What do I do that I like? You know, what do I love to do? What am I really passionate about?
What do I
And
love to wear? What am I geeking out
yeah,
over? What can I
yeah.
talk about for hours and hours on? Even if it's
What
weird, even if it's quirky, even if you might think, oh, people are gonna say something about this and blah 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 blah. Go first. Go first with that.
what's my physical identity? What is my physical identity? And also, what is my mental construct? All right. And how am I going to bridge the gap there and create this, you know, identity that is going to be of my highest, truest nature?
Yeah.
All right.
One
And,
thing I
and
did.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
One thing I did a couple of weeks ago was also asking myself, or I was actually in a program with a lot of guys, and what he was asking, my mentor, was, who are you without all the normal society labels? So I am a coach, I am a son, I am a writer, or I am this, I am that. I remove all those labels, and what is then left, what comes through your own creativity, what comes up. And that's how you will find out, wow, yeah, this is what I resonate with, this is what I am passionate about. And you could even use movie characters for this. This is what I did. For instance, I am Jack Sparrow, I am Heath Ledger's Joker. And what are the qualities about those guys that you love and that you vibe with?
This is the alter ego effect. I don't know if you ever read that book, The Alter Ego Effect, really powerful one, where you try to figure out what is your alter ego. Okay. For me, it's like, you know, I take ownership of my name, which I had a really hard time doing for a long time. But then I'm like, okay, my name is David Goldstein. Okay. With my really long Portuguese middle name. All right. That I abbreviate with an S. But then when I put on my coaching hat, or when I step into my full potential, who am I? I'm Dave Gold. All right. And I've got superpowers. I can change lives. I can
Yeah.
get myself out of, tricky situations. I can attract beautiful relationships and wealth into my life. Okay. And
Yeah, and all
that
these.
that is actually a great exercise, what you were saying, because I did that with a guy one time and I said, who do you really look up to in the coaching world? Who are your mentors? Who are the people that you want to be like? All right. And what is it about them that you really like? What is it about them that you want to embody in yourself? Because a lot of the time we just put that other person on a pedestal, but we don't realize that we can actually attract and develop those same similar habits
Yeah,
and
the model.
characteristics, yeah, that
Thing
we
is,
can implement in our own life.
the people think then, oh, but that's not authentic, that's not unique when I copy from others. But actually,
Mhm.
yeah, when you copy from one or two persons, yeah, then it will be a copy. But
don't
when,
even look at it don't even look at it as copying.
oh, because nothing.
Okay, instead look at it as, i'm I'm just learning and I'm growing
Model.
from, yeah, that model. Okay, or I'm starting to develop into my own. Okay, like you can actually be that other person. It's impossible. You can take the golf club and pretend to swing like Tiger Woods, but you're never going to be Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
Now, if you want to learn from Tiger Woods how to hit a golf ball really, really far and really close to the hole, well, that's going to be a great model to learn from. But if someone else then comes up and they say, like, oh, but you're just copying Tiger Woods' swing, well, then just tell them to fuck off. Like, you're actually, taking a great model and trying to max it out. The same thing is in copywriting. One of my first students is an amazing copywriter. Shout out to him, Bodie Schultz. And, copywriters will have a whole archive of the best articles and ads and copy that, they've come across in
indeed.
a database.
I have the
And
same.
then they'll go, yeah, and then they'll go and they'll turn it into their own copy. They'll turn it into their own ad. Now, if you don't actually make it unique to you, there is kind of a uh,
Yeah, but
there's a little bit of a gray area where you're like, all right, that could be a copyright issue, or you could be called out for stealing someone else's work. So what you have to do is you have to make sure that your voice is coming out, when you speak.
pick
That,
from a lot of sources, get
yeah.
inspiration from a lot of sources. That's what I personally have. A lot of mentors, coaches, movies, uh, books. Like, not only that, also mix it then, all that inspiration, with personal experience and
Mhm.
personal stories. go out there and experience things for yourself, meet people for yourself. And then in those moments when you meet people for yourself, you can like pluck from from all those inspirational sources and see what naturally comes out, what naturally comes up. And then what are the things that you often resonate with, that you often throw out there, that you, what are your typical phrases, what are your typical like clothing that you deeply vibe with, and all sorts of things. And that's how you then become unique.
Yeah. So the other thing is that then someone might say to you, all right, like, hey, but I said that first. And you have to ask yourself, did they really say it first?
No, because everything,
Because
nothing is really unique. Everything is there already, but it's just
so
interpreted in a different way.
so here's where we're going to do a hard stop, and we're going to say that, okay, if I read an article, which I read the other day, which was like collaboration, not competition, I'm like, oh, but that was my term. No, it wasn't. Like, David, you're full of yourself. Okay. And it wasn't his term either. It's just a great concept that if you put it in the right, if you package it in the right way, it can teach someone a powerful lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I come over to you and I go, I've got this business, Dave Gold Evolve, and you go and you start a business called Dave Gold Evolve, well, then, yeah, there's going to be a conflict of interest there. So ask yourself, what kind of business or model or method could I create that will be unique, but also something that people will want to, you know, embrace, and something that will be relatable, and something that people will want to, you know, get behind. Because another one is like the model of being an online coach. Okay. And this is kind of advanced stuff. So for some of you guys, it's probably not relevant. But if someone were to come and say, all right, I'm going to have this program and it's going to have this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And it's like, okay, like golf clap, that's really unique, but no one's going to actually understand what it is. No one's
Yeah.
actually going to want to buy into it. So it's better to have something that is unique, that people can also understand what is the clear message behind it, and why should someone embrace it.
Yeah, your authenticity should also be matched with relatability, like other people. There's like two circles, um, what you want and what others want. And if you can make those overlap,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then you can still put yourself out there and talk about black swans all day. And yeah, you know, the feathers are just so beautiful and it's just authentic to me. But is it useful for others? Is it valuable for others? Yeah, maybe like 1 in a billion might want to listen to that and be like, oh wow, clap clap. But is it useful for others, and is it gonna resonate with others?
Are you a
Yeah.
Venn diagram kind of guy?
A what?
A Venn diagram kind of guy? I think that's when you have like circles that are overlapping.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot with those drawings and circles and pictures, and I like to explain concepts in that way. For sure. Do you know Visualize Value on Instagram?
Who is it?
Visualize Value. He has like quotes
Oh,
and concepts, and he explains it in drawings. It's highly useful.
that's the other thing is like, how are you teaching people? Because if you can think of a way to teach people that is a little bit different, okay, but it's going to catch their attention. Like, for instance, today, um, I was so reluctant to embrace this, and I still, I'll be honest, I haven't been keeping up with it on a daily basis. But some of the guys are making TikToks every day, and there is such a large audience there that they they consume that content at such a high rate and a mass scale that you can touch a lot of lives through a platform like that, because people's attention spans have gone down to like 8 seconds. So if you can create content that's only like, 15 to 60-second long, rather than this kind of long form content that I love, but not everyone can consume it, then you're going to be able to reach a larger audience. You're going to have more engagement. And it's something that I'm starting to focus in on this year because, like, I went really hard with Facebook last year. I built up my personal profile that it was really uncomfortable for me to turn my personal profile into something that was, also a way for me to demonstrate and attract new connections and clients and students into my life. And building up this community, we hit our 500 member goal. We're on our way to 1,000 members, but I started to feel like that my impact was going to get capped out on Facebook, especially if I didn't start to diversify my assets, which is something that I teach the guys in the personal brand mentorship that I do. And so I said, all right, if I'm going to be a personal brand mentor, I got to be an expert on multiple different platforms, not only Facebook and possibly Instagram with the stories. I love making stories, love making posts, but also I've got to get myself over to TikTok, over to LinkedIn, over to YouTube, and actually dive in and see what kind of engaging content can I create that's going to touch a whole new audience.
Yeah, man. Now, what is your vision with that? Do you want to like make it huge and as reach as many people as possible?
Yeah,
Or
well, I think we'll kind of end here. My vision is very similar to yours. Obviously, we've connected and now on multiple occasions because we have a lot in common. First off, we love the topic of purpose, which, I truly believe that I had no purpose in life, and that was one of the things that caused me a lot of suffering. And now I really have this deeper rooted purpose, which is helping, young and aspiring entrepreneurs, especially heart-centered ones, evolve their personal brand, start to scale their lifestyle and start to scale their business. And
awesome.
I've started to find the kind of guys that really resonate with that message, and I love working with them. It's amazing. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to help to expand that kind of impact and reach on a coaching front, and then on another vertical create an agency that will help them with whatever kind of content they need, and whatever kind of PR and outreach that they need in order to scale their message to the whole world.
Yeah, sounds like a vision, man. I dig it.
And with that, what you were talking about before, balancing the business and the lifestyle. So I want to practice what I preach. I want to have fun while I'm doing it as well. And I'm a digital nomad at heart. I'm a digital nomad at heart. Right now, I'm in Romania. Great place to be a digital nomad, like really affordable. Next, I'm going to be in Belgrade, Serbia. Before that, I was in Hungary, and I want to continue to travel the world. I want to meet people. I want to, dive into different connections. I want to challenge myself to be more loving, to be more empathetic, to be more understanding of where someone's at on, their level of consciousness. And even if I can just show them one little thing that might enable them to open their eyes a little bit more, because my eyes are pretty open sometimes. People make fun of me because of it. Then, my work is done. And if I can do that in a way that is dharmic instead of a traumatic way, which is something that I'm always working on, because I can be a little bit confrontational at times, really call people out and trigger them. And,
That's awesome.
that's cool and all, and that's great. And it's great to be polarizing, especially if you want to attract people who are like-minded. But I also think that for my peace of mind, doing it and providing my gifts and my services in a way that shows people the love and compassion that they need is going to be taking my game to the next level.
Yeah, I see myself in that as well. Like I'm very clear on the type of people I want to engage with and have around me. And yeah, like the last point, like we are not for everyone. We are just for the exact right people that resonate and vibe with this stuff and that are ready to also co-create awesome things. And
Yeah.
that's really the vision here with this, with all this purpose and self-expression. Like, if we are going first in all this, then you will attract the right ones automatically and the right experiences automatically. And I'm just excited about that, man.
We're not for everyone, but if we can be innovators and think progressively about how we can start to bring people into this field that might have had a misconception about an online coach, they might have thought that they're just going to get scammed, okay, or someone's going to take advantage of them when they invest in some coaching or mentorship. And if we can change that game, then we'll really be doing a blessing and a service for the world, because it's a very diluted marketplace right now. So
in my opinion, without
yeah,
trying to convince them so much and like trying to pull them in and like, you have to see this, and no, not what you believe, and I'm trying to convince you and prove to you. No, it's like, hey, I'm not chasing. I'm just tuning in fully on my power and my light and expressing that back. And then the more like light and stuff you express back, then it will, like, they will come to you. And it might take 1 month, it might take 2 years. But at some point people will start to like, like they're here, and then it's like, this guy, he's shining. They are shining. What do they have? I would like to be a part of that. Maybe my misconceptions were wrong. Let me go over there and ask, like something like this. And that's,
well, the light is shining in from the window, so I'm feeling a little enlightened right now.
We are, man. Enlightened wizards. That's one word that you can write down on your avatar list. Who am I without the labels? Enlightened wizard. One of them. You can create this whole list, and yeah, man, shine.
Julian, it's been great as always. We're gonna have to have you on the mastermind, run through some purpose exercises, and the best place they can find you is on Instagram or Facebook. Julian Steur.
Julian Steur, Steur. Yes.
Beautiful. We'll drop a link below. It's been lovely talking to you. See you next
time.
And
Clubhouse as well. I don't know if you are on Clubhouse. Yeah, you are, of course. Clubhouse.
You tuned in to our personal brand accelerator. The last week was the first one with, Donna Marie, who's now one of the lucky ladies who gets to be a part of our Facebook group as well. It's very limited to the women currently. Awesome. And yeah, we're going to be holding a personal brand accelerator every weekend. So if you're on Clubhouse, come drop in and join us. And who knows, maybe we'll have a room on purpose one day.
Let's do so. I dig that app. So Instagram, Facebook, and Clubhouse, I'm findable. Awesome, man. Thank you, and
we'll talk soon.
Awesome day.
Okay, peace.